people want to be in the music industry. They want to be rappers. They want to be producers. But it's like, man, you got to really work for that.
Mm-hmm.
That, and a lot of people don't really tell the secrets. Like, you don't. I mean, I'll sit here and tell, bro, I'll give you my beat template. Like, I will give you everything, but it's not gonna make you as good as me. It's about how bad you want it. Does that make sense?
Right.
People would much rather like get to it without learning how to get to it.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's where the disconnect is.
Like, what's that like when you get that spark or that purpose? Like, what was that like for you?
I mean, I haven't stopped working since.
Yeah.
Like, it really just makes it. It's like lighting the craziest fire. Like, I can confidently say, like, I've spent more time in the studio over the past 4 years than probably anywhere on anything in my entire life.
Wow.
Simple as that. And it's because I've spent every single day at that studio.
Yeah.
No matter what's going on.
Yeah.
And just.
It's that work ethic.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You're tuned into the UpNUp podcast on the UpNUp network. I'm your host, Rebel.
And I'm DJ Erm.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How you doing?
You know me, man. Blessed, grateful. Right?
Yep.
I feel like you just know. I feel like you already know.
Yeah.
But no, I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Shout out to everybody in the room. Shout out to the team, obviously. And this is your first time tuning in. As I stated, this is the UpNUp podcast. This is the podcast where we're focused on cultivating culture. We do that by providing amazing stories of individuals, groups, the movers, the shakers, people breaking down barriers, right? Not only for all of us here, but for the next generation, right?
Yep.
This is what we do it for. Obviously, housekeeping item, we got to shout out to consistent viewers, listeners, supporters, the family. The fam bam, right? Yeah, man, you know, this is what we do it for, man, and they've been with us every step of the way, and if this is your first time stepping into the building, welcome to the family, right?
Yep.
Getting that out the way, you know, I'm always excited to come in and do these episodes. It never gets old. Every single one is new. Today's no different. Today's guest is definitely, I would say he's an emerging leader and builder in the creative scene and the music scene, obviously, here in our region and also beyond. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He's definitely someone who's definitely cultivating culture in his own way. I would say so, right? He's an amazing producer, engineer, creative, and most importantly, a visionary, right?
Yeah.
With the way in which he's contributing to the music landscape out here and beyond. And definitely someone I would say who represents what it means to just carve out your own artistic evolution. You know, as artists and creatives, it's like we want to evolve. And this is someone I've definitely seen evolve over the years.
Yeah.
Super honored to have him in the building with us, man. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. Our guest is none other than the good brother himself, Cotto, a.k.a. BeatsByCotto.
Yeah.
Applause, man. Give it up.
I almost cried. That was crazy.
How you doing, bro?
Man, another day. No complaints. Just trying to stay blessed.
Yes, bro.
Yes, sir.
How's the day treating you?
Great day. I mean, beautiful weather. So
Yeah.
try to be outside as much as I can today, for sure.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Well, first of all, thank you for coming, bro. Obviously.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Appreciate
having
it,
me,
bro.
for sure.
Yeah.
So we start every episode with the quote of the day, something to get the vibe right. Convo started. Like, he's super excited because he's quote man over here.
All right, so the quote of the day today is, every production of an artist should be the expression of an adventure of their soul.
Damn.
That was deep. Who's that quote by?
W. Somerset Maugham. Yeah.
Can you run that back?
Yep.
Please.
So the quote is, every production of an artist should be the expression of an adventure of their soul.
That's real.
That's huge.
That's real. What do you think about that quote?
It really speaks to what's going on today, because a lot of people are doing it for not the expression or not they're doing it because it's cool. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
the game becomes oversaturated when you do stuff like that. But when people are staying true to themselves and like actually making stuff that means something, that's when the best shit comes out, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, 100%.
I just bring that up too because as a fan of music, like especially, you know, this even before lyrics, when you hear a beat, it gives you a certain feeling and you can feel it. You know what I'm saying? So
100%.
yeah, that's kind of.
If you press play on something, you hear it for 2 seconds, you're like, ooh.
Yeah, you kind of already know it just hits you. You know?
Yeah, no, that's real. That's,
Mhm.
I mean, that's deep. That's deep, man. Because
Yeah.
like you said, it's like when it comes from a place that's not authentic, that's not real, that's not from the soul, you can hear it too. You know what I mean?
You can feel it.
You can feel it, yeah.
Exactly.
So Cotto, obviously, you know, our platform again is based on allowing y'all to come in here and tell your stories the way you feel it needs to be told. But before we get into your journey, I love asking guests this question because we all go through different seasons, obviously. But the current season you're in right now, how would you describe what that is?
Bliss. It's spring, right? Like, so I don't know. This is my birth era. So like when it hits April, May, I feel like it's the best weather, and I'm more in tune with myself outside and doing all the fun stuff. But yeah, no, I once it starts getting cold, you're gonna catch me inside for sure.
Yeah. I feel it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Cotto, let's rewind to the beginning. You were born in Carolina,
Puerto Rico.
Yep. And then you moved to Yakima. Okay, so what was like that for you? What was that transition like growing up?
Cold.
Yeah.
No, it was cool. I moved when I was like 7, so I was still like learning and processing a bunch of stuff. But
Right.
definitely a culture switch for sure, 100%. I can't say I didn't love it though. Like I was able to grow up with different cultures and learn a bunch of different people, and yeah, it made me who I am today for sure.
Right.
Appreciation for more than just what you have and what else is going on around the world.
Yes, sir.
I'm curious, what were you into as you were like getting older? Like, you know, whether it be sports, was music something that was?
Dude, I mean, I was always just a fan of music.
Okay.
Like I used to steal my brother's iPod.
Okay.
He'd leave, so I could. That's how I found out about Kanye, Cuddy, all them. That was the birth of all that.
Shout out to the iPod era.
No, for real. Actually, I ain't even gonna hold you. It wasn't even an iPod. It was a Zune.
Oh, shout out to the Zune.
The
Damn.
Zune. I forgot about
Damn.
that.
So
If you know, you know.
Exactly. But yeah, that definitely just started a love for hearing different music and different kinds of just feelings, really. And that just from there, that really, I loved music going on. But then when it came to like what I was doing in my life, it was never really like I'm gonna make music. Like I was in choir in high school, but I feel like everybody has to take choir in high school.
Yeah. It's
So
like the obligatory
exactly.
music. Yeah, I got you.
It wasn't until, because bro, I was already in college at the time. I was playing soccer and I was gonna be a physical therapist. Like
Okay, so you were playing. So sports was probably
100%. That's
like
where I
what
was
you were
going for
into.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then just didn't work out. And then I ended up moving back to Seattle, getting a bunch of jobs over here and just living like the normal life. And then I met some people who were making music, and then one thing led to another, and I just wanted to become the greatest producer of all time.
Yeah.
No, that's interesting. I'm curious. Do you think the experience of playing soccer, like that's discipline, bro? Being an athlete is not like,
It's not easy.
if you're serious about it,
Yeah.
then you got to be disciplined. You got to have those characteristics, right? I mean, I want you to get into kind of how music came into the fold in your journey, but like, do you think that helped you kind of
100%.
pivot?
I feel like, because I mean, I really got to credit my mom. She's like the hardest working person I ever met in my life. So seeing her work ethic and what she wants really carried me into like, all right, soccer and all this ain't really working out. Might as well just take all of my, like what I really want to do and how I feel and put it into something I really care about. And at the time when I was making music, I felt like that was the only thing I felt like I knew how to do right. So it was like really clicking.
That's real.
It kind of happened like way too fast.
That's real.
Way too fast.
Yeah.
I fell in love with it immediately, and I fell in love with the process of it. And I feel like that's what never lets it like get old.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
So, well, going back to sports, I guess. I mean, all of us play sports. So, what were like some of the, I guess, like life lessons that you carried on from sports and kind of applied it to your life?
Really, just having the discipline. Like, if you want to do it, you're gonna have to work for it.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Like, I can relate that to even when I started working at the studio. Like, I had quit my job, my normal job. I quit my job as soon as they told me I could start interning at the studio. But I was still gonna have to DoorDash or make shit shake on the other side. So I still had to do all of that just so I can get 3, 4, 5 hours in the studio a day.
Yeah.
Right.
Regardless, like you have to have that discipline to make sure you accomplish what you need to, so then you can actually take care of what you want to do.
That's real.
That's a fact.
That's real. So, speaking of interning, so you did start interning at Studio Sage, right?
Yep.
Shout out to Studio Sage.
Shout out to
boys.
Studio Sage,
Super
man.
dope music recording studio. I had a couple questions. One, I wanted to know, how did you start like developing the skill set to be confident enough to go for that internship? You know what I mean?
I got you.
And then what was it like once you started getting in the studio and seeing all the, I guess the work it took?
It was definitely like a lot of like fake it till you make it. That was huge.
Okay.
Bro, like I want to say the first 5-6 months of me making beats, like they were all trash. But it was more of just like me figuring out what worked for me and plugging and play different methods. And like once I started figuring it out, it was more of like, oh, I really feel like I think it was when I started actually getting paid for beats. Like $25, $50.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, whoa, this can, I could, whoa.
You remember the first beat you got paid for?
Yeah, bro, 100%. It was my boy Jackson. He had came over. He was homies with the people who I was living with at the time, and he was a rapper. He slid. I was fresh into making beats, but he's like, bro, I need this right now. And I was like, I don't even know how to go about doing this. Like, do I just give him the beat? Like, how do I? But from there, that just sparked a want to just make more and more and more and all that shit.
Yeah,
man,
that's real.
That's what's up. Kind of want to talk about 2020, the pandemic, when the world stopped. For a lot of people, it could have went either way for them, but I feel like, that's when you said you kind of.
That's literally when I started.
Yeah, got your like.
Bro, everything was lining up. So like, pandemic started, and I was working as a lifeguard manager. So I was at a pool. So when the pandemic started, we had to close down.
Yeah,
there was none of that.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm at the house making beats. My boss calls me, we're about to open back up. I want you to apply for this position, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, cool. I apply for it. I don't get it. And at the same time, literally like 2 days later, they tell me, hey, you should come work at the studio. So those things, plus the pandemic, plus like me having consistently making beats for like a year, I want to say.
Prepped you for that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I was like, these are the moments where people have to take that risk. And I feel like if I don't take this risk now, who knows when this will ever happen again.
Yeah.
So I was like, quitting the job, sorry, but I don't feel it how I feel this.
Right.
It all connects. Everything happens for a reason.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's real.
That's amazing, bro.
Well, on the topic, so just kind of doing some research, you did an article with the Artist Connect, and in the article it says how you took, during the pandemic, you took it seriously, but at the same time, it gave you a sense of purpose, and you really felt like you found your purpose in music during that time. Like, can you just speak to like, even if it's not for producers, but just in general, like, what's that like when you get that spark or that purpose? Like, what was that like for you?
I mean, I haven't stopped working since. Like, it really just makes it's like lighting the craziest fire. Like, I can confidently say, like, I've spent more time in the studio over the past 4 years than probably anywhere on anything in my entire life.
Wow.
Simple as that. And it's because I've spent every single day at that studio.
Yeah.
No matter what's going on.
Yeah.
And just.
It's that work ethic.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like work, right?
It doesn't. It never feels like work.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. There's times where you'll get someone who's like, I like to say, draining of your energy. Like, just, it's not working. And the more I did that, the more I realized I really can't be doing sessions like that because it makes it not feel like how I love feeling it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you.
So, I mean, there's definitely, you got to choose your battles and who you want to work with. But at the end of the day, if you really want it, you can work with anybody, bro.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Simple as that.
Take the good with the bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, bro, I could be doing something else.
Yeah.
So I get to do what I love. I can't complain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'll just say, before you even started like producing, who were some of like your musical influences?
Kanye.
It's okay. You can say his name.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Sorry.
Kanye, Travis, a bunch of Spanish music because my parents.
Yeah.
My grandma has a huge like vinyl collection, so like anything from like Diana Ross to Temptations to Like it just, I feel like my family being very diverse in the music is definitely what made it easier for me for sure.
Right.
100%.
That's dope, man.
Yeah. So now moving along kind of in your journey, right? How did you start developing, you definitely said you've been locked in the studio, but like how did you start developing kind of the technical side and that growth? Like as far as like whether it be kind of your own production philosophies or like your workflow, like how did that start coming along?
Well, so the beats were like, cause I had years of practicing beats. That was easy. And then I had gotten to the studio. And when I had gotten to the studio, I didn't know anything when it came to the recording side. So that's where the internship really kicked in, because they taught me how to run a studio essentially.
Yep.
And at that moment, it was like, okay, I got all the keys. I got to do everything I can now. So it's like that process and leading me into learning how to run the studio and then being able to make beats, it all just made it way too easy. Way too easy.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I was printing money at one point. It's just it's
Yeah.
just so fun, bro.
No, I think that there's, like you said, like the craft of it, right?
The process.
And
Right.
I think music is one of those things that we as consumers only see it on the surface. So we
Yeah.
don't necessarily see it as something that requires a lot of tedious work, right?
Trial and error.
Trial and
Yeah.
error and all that. We don't see that side of things. So, and at the same time, a lot of people aren't willing to sit down and be patient enough for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's like also too, you got to be really vulnerable when you're making music. So like not a lot of people like sharing those moments. But when it comes to like you being able to be in a studio in one of those moments, it's like it starts clicking like, oh, they really love what they do.
Yeah.
And this is why they do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's real.
Yeah. So talking about the process, I guess what is your process when you start making a beat? Is it kind of like the same every time? Do you have like a kind of like rules that you follow, or?
It's pretty, I mean, I think I've turned into like a factory.
Yeah.
So like I can just crank them out now.
Yeah.
If I'm like trying to make a tight beat real quick, doing like 5 minutes, like I just have the process in my head.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I'm usually looking for samples. Like there's a record shop across from my house I'm always at. A bunch of online stuff where you can search through random crates. But it's like usually that's where I start, because when you have a good sample, you can pretty much do anything with it.
Yeah.
And then from then the drums just fall into place. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, what would you say? I mean, for producers, obviously, placements are really, really big in terms of just your career and growing. Can you recall kind of like what that placement was for you that made you feel like, okay, like it's not to say it's better than the other ones, but this is something that can potentially move me forward?
Definitely. My first it's crazy. So there's placements, and then there's times where I was just like in the studio and I was like, okay, it's starting to make sense. Like for example, when I was interning, my first week of interning, we had Kevin Gates rent out the studio. So that was like, you got to hit the ground running at that point. There's they're not waiting around for anybody. I've seen people get kicked out of the chair. I've seen all that. So it's like you really got to be ready for that shit.
Yeah.
But then like, I think what really like solidified it for me was I was smoking a blunt with Afroman, and I was like, whoa. Afroman just passed me a blunt.
That's crazy.
What? And at that moment I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. I
think I'm doing all right.
I could do this for a while.
I think I'm on the right path.
And shout out to Afroman too.
No,
Just
shout
a
out
really,
to Afroman.
really cool soul, really nice dude for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's big, man. What was that session like?
Dude, it didn't seem real. Like, his manager had booked it through my website, so it's like I had seen just a random name. It wasn't Afroman. It was just his manager's name. I'm like, okay, another session, random person never met before. Sitting at the desk, this dude comes in. He's like, yeah, Afroman's about to walk in. I was like, It's like an Afroman impersonator. Is it like
yeah. There's only
what's
one
going on
Afroman.
here?
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's only one.
Exactly. And then lo and behold, walks in this gold pimp stick and like crazy afro. Bro, it was just a moment for real.
That's fire.
Damn.
It didn't feel real at all.
That's
bro.
fire. I think I mean, I'm curious, like obviously you went on to work with other artists as well, but it definitely could be something to let you know, like, okay, I have to go through this first time experience to understand, like, okay, I guess it's like kind of going from like the hobbyist to the professional. You know what I mean? You always hear about that. Like people are like, okay, I'm no longer, can't be fanned out, right? It's time to lock in and work, right?
You really got to lock in. And
yeah.
There's moments like that too, for real. Like, even LaRussell, when he pulled up, bro pulled up at like 8 a.m. for God knows what reason. Also, why was I at the studio for 8 a.m.? Let's just start there. But I was there. I got a call. He's outside. And he walks up. He's like, I've heard so much about you. You know, you're doing great things for your city, blah, blah, blah. I was like, you heard about me?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So it's little wins like that where you're like, oh, shit. Like, people are seeing the work I'm putting in, and it's actually making sense.
Yeah. You never know who's watching either.
You
Or listening.
never know
Or
who's
listening.
watching,
Yeah.
bro. Never know.
Yeah. And you guys obviously went on to make a project, the Live from the 206, like fire
And we got
project.
a bunch more on the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to play some right now? I'm joking. No, that's dope, bro. And I think, again, like, I love that you're sharing this because I think there's a lot that goes into like developing, you know, as an artist, but also as a producer. You know what I mean? And who you want to be.
Yeah, definitely. And I know you talked about being vulnerable, like as an artist, just in general, whether you're a producer or artist. So I guess what do you do on your side to kind of create that environment for artists so they can bring the best?
Really just like setting a vibe to where you don't feel like you're out of your comfort zone. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So like anytime people at the studio, I got drinks. You want to smoke? We could smoke.
Yeah.
We could just vibe out for a bit. Like there's no real like then I'm like, yeah, we're gonna do this right now. Like I really, you gotta go with the flow.
Yeah.
You can't really force anything. Like there's artists who pull up and just kick it.
Yeah.
Like they don't even make music. They just want to be in the studio for a little bit. So it's like being able to set that vibe to where people want to consistently come back is huge.
Yeah,
it's huge
definitely.
Because if they don't feel comfortable when they're recording, they're definitely not coming back.
Yeah.
Ever, bro.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's
real.
dope. I mean, that's the type of vibe I got when we pulled up, you know.
No, facts.
So yeah, I was like, damn, this is cool. I could chill.
I gotta
all
make
day,
it
you
like,
know, so.
like an extension of your house, bro. Like you gotta be able to kick your feet up and chill, bro.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Exactly. I feel that.
Another thing I wanted to ask you is, and maybe you can share this for up and coming or aspiring producers, but like, how do you go about building your brand? Like your producer name or your producer reputation? Like, I mean, you're still obviously building it, right? But like, was that something you were consciously thinking about as you were doing it, or did it hit you at a different time?
I think once I got hired, like officially onto the studio, in my head I was thinking, I was like, how do I market this? Like, how do I turn this into something that people want to see all the time? So what I mean, in my experience, what I started doing is that I would just start bringing videographers to the studio with me. And I would just post like random videos of just me cooking up, me with the artist, me just content so that people can see, like, one, you take yourself very seriously, and two, you're always working. Because, bro, I mean, I didn't leave the studio. So I had to show them that I wasn't leaving the studio.
Yeah, facts.
So I mean, like, building that basis on people just following you because they love what you do and following your music, I feel like that's where I really capitalized, because people love seeing my process, people love how I make my beats, and people love that I take this as seriously, and I take everybody as seriously as I would like a smaller artist.
Yeah.
Everybody got to feel like an artist. I don't care how big you are.
Yeah.
Right.
That's when the best music comes out.
That's real.
100%.
That's real.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
No, yeah, but just like, bro, building the brand, just constantly being consistent with what you're posting, like your mission statement, essentially. I'm not saying I would go post a mission statement, but it was pretty obvious of what I was trying to portray through my work. Yeah. And people clicked and people liked that shit. So.
Yeah. And I think the artist you pick or choose is a part of you building your identity too, right? Because they are somewhat advocating for you, right?
It's like an extension of you.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
That's real.
So, and I know you talked about selling your first beat a while ago, but so now I kind of want to ask, like, how do you, as a producer, structure your deals, like now, and pretty much like, how does that look like?
Back then, I mean, I was just trying to make every dollar I possibly could, so I was just selling everything left and right. But now, because I've kind of built like a little empire for myself, I don't really have to. I love this. I don't really have to tax the up and coming artists and the artists who are still on the way, because I know what it takes to not have a whole label budget.
Right.
I know what it takes to not be able to put together X, Y, and Z because you got to go to work. Like, that shit makes sense to me. So, and like a lot of artists who come to this, they're not getting taxed $2,000, $3,000. Like, I'm doing these labels. Like, that's not happening. I'm not doing that to you.
Yeah.
But these labels, don't bro, you got budgets. I'm taking all your money. I don't care.
Yeah.
That shit coming back to you anyways.
Yeah. No, real talk.
But like, for example, I will Like for cats around the city, I'm only doing like exclusive beats. So like they'll be the only one who can have that beat. They don't have to give me any residuals. It's all them. They can just eat off it 100%.
Wow.
Simple as that.
That's amazing, bro.
I feel like it definitely took time to get to that level because, you know, you couldn't do that before. But me being able to have the residuals with the artists that I do that bring in money consistently and me at the studio, like it's able for me to just give back to the people who kind of support me.
There we go.
'Cause I wouldn't be here without City. That's impossible.
Yeah.
Would not have happened.
Yeah. And I just know, I bet that's just a great feeling to where you're like at a point where you're like, nah, I can still help bring up the up and coming artists, you know?
Bro, like I'm not even gonna put names out there,
big.
but there's an artist that I work with. All of the residuals he gives to me, I made him put into account and just make an account for his son, and it's all just gonna go up towards his son's money. Like, bro, I'm trying to see your family eat.
Yeah,
like, I'm chilling. My mom's chilling. Cars paid, house paid, all that.
Yeah.
Let me help you build this.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's important though, right? To understand like your position, right? Your position in the landscape. I mean, you don't have to do these things, right? You don't have to move that way, but I think
I was put here to do that.
Yeah, you know
feel
what I mean?
like
Yeah, for sure. Did you have any mentors in the producer game that kind of like, not to say maybe they taught you how to make beats, but maybe you learned some things or they maybe made things easier?
I mean, I could just name the people honestly, because like my boy Craig, I used to rent out a room when I worked as a lifeguard, and Craig lived downstairs from me, and he made beats originally. And one day we were kicking it. No, we weren't even kicking it. I saw him outside. We saw each other smoking a blunt. Like, hey, you want to smoke? Cool. Boom. We're in his room. He's making beats. I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So Craig literally sat me down, showed me how to make beats, and from there it was just smoke, up and smoke. Got to Sage, Cam, both Cams, Tim, Elijah, Brian, all of them, Dimitri, everybody in that circle literally made me be able to move the way I move in the studio.
Yeah.
So I've always given everybody their flowers for sure.
No, that's fire, bro.
That's dope,
I think that's like sometimes people don't realize it. Those are like real up close, but even sometimes we have distant mentors, you know, people that we've been watching. So it's just dope to see the growth, bro. And I feel like you're still like you're so young in kind of your journey.
Yeah.
But you've been able to kind of establish yourself very quickly. Like you said, it all happened pretty fast, right?
Yeah, it happened way too fast. But I mean, I take every day as I can.
Yeah, but it's right on time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. What were what are, I guess, some of your biggest lessons from, I guess, the music industry as a whole? Well, the business side or both sides?
Definitely don't take things seriously or personally. Not seriously, but don't take things too personally. Because you never know what someone's going through or like what their day is entailed of. And like I've been on the short end of the stick because engineers, you probably seen videos. Engineers get yelled at all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I can't say I haven't been in that position because I definitely have. But it's like once you build a relationship with an artist, you can tell that him yelling in that moment is kind of what he needed to get out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I really tell people I'm a cheap therapist sometimes.
Yeah.
That's all it really is, bro. I promise you.
Yeah.
I'm a way for people to get their expression, their emotions out.
That's real.
So it's like I've been there, but I feel like it was definitely necessary in the process of becoming a good engineer. Essentially,
right?
You gotta balance people's feelings.
Yeah.
Sure.
Kind of have like a lot of patience. Yeah.
A lot of patience.
Because you're probably dealing with a whole bunch of different types of artists as well.
Bro, and then there's times where like 8 people want to get on a song. You're like, okay, boom. Yeah. There's just moments where like you got to realize you're made for this, but it's gonna be a little difficult for sure.
Yeah. Right.
For sure.
No, that's real.
But I don't know. I feel like I'm always learning stuff, and I feel like that's why I'll never stop growing. Just 'cause you gotta stay like a student of the game.
Yeah,
that's how you keep going for sure.
Definitely.
And I think it's par for the course to like develop your ability to be a true professional. Because like I have this thing where I notice some people are selectively professional, depending on the circumstance, depending on maybe what they can gain from the situation, and then if there's nothing to gain, then their professionalism just
goes out the window.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't see those people as true professionals.
Yeah.
They just have professional capabilities, right? But like what you're talking about is like, and no matter what's coming at me, I got to maintain my professionalism. You know what I mean?
Even like, bro, it's just your professionalism and leaving your ego at the door.
Yeah.
That shit gonna take you wherever you want to go. I promise you.
Yes, sir.
I promise you.
That's real.
Yes, sir.
That's real.
Yeah, man. So, man, that's kind of crazy. I'm just thinking right now, but nah, because I always I'm so interested on how like producers pretty much, like you guys could just hear a sound and know like, okay, this is going in this song, or like I'm gonna do this with this like little sound from like a clip. You know what I'm saying? And
I'll hear people driving by and be like, "What's that?" I'll drive by Shazam.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I mean, even Robbie was talking about it earlier. That page you were talking about earlier. There's
Tomorrow Network.
Yeah, so there's like pages that'll show like how somebody like Timberland took a small sound and turned it into this whole beat, or like even like a part of like a super old school song. It's like a random song. You know what I mean?
It makes the whole song.
Yeah. Someone I credit huge on that is like Jay Dilla.
Yeah.
Because bro, if you think about how they had to make beats back then.
Yeah.
Bro, I have an MPC. Like one of the ones that they used to use back then takes me like 2 hours to get a beat done. And like thinking about that and taking into account like what they had to work with and how hard it was back then.
Yeah.
Like they really were down for the craft.
Yeah.
Like
that's real
really
talk.
down for the craft.
You couldn't just
bro.
upload your beats.
You couldn't just hop on your computer and make a beat in 10 minutes. Like that wasn't happening at all.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. And
that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. Now I do want to kind of get your thoughts on just I would say the Pacific Northwest. We can say the Pacific Northwest, but just kind of the music scene out here, and like obviously I feel like it's thriving. I feel like there is a lot of talent out here, but
tons of talent.
A lot of talent, tons of talent. How, like, from your perspective, and you're in a great position where you get a chance to really connect with a lot of artists that maybe we don't even know about, right? But like, how have you seen it grow, and what do you like kind of see for the future of it?
I definitely see a lot more of like trying to turn into like a metropolitan area of the music. So like, you know how Atlanta is, you know how the Bay Area, New York. I feel like we're starting to turn into one of those. We're not there yet because for some odd reason, egos, whatever the case is, but we're getting to that point. And I feel like once we reach that point, we're going to have studios on every block. We're going to be like Nashville, just making hits left and right. Like, I feel like it's all definitely part of the process, because I feel when I first got here, it definitely wasn't as connected. Like, and now I'm doing songs with people who I never thought would be in the same room together. So it's like, I feel like that's why those cities are so big. It's because people are willing to put that shit to the side and really come together and really build, because that's why they're so connected out there. That's why everybody's a star. Everybody got bro.
Do you feel like, do you guys, maybe we can talk about this, but do you feel like we need to curate a certain sound? Not to say we need to, but I've noticed like some regions, take Chicago for instance, right? Like when the drill came out, it was like Chicago already had a sound prior to that. Like we're listening to Kanye, Twista, Do or Die, all of them, right? But then the drill came and it was like a sound. It's still the same spot, but they kind of just ushered in a new sound. Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's something that could help?
I think because Seattle is such a melting pot, it won't have one sound.
Right.
I don't think we'll ever get to the point of being like a unified sound.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think we can use that to our advantage, because it's just going to bring more people in, more culture.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So definitely, like, I don't know. I hear a lot of like, oh, they're just copying California. They're just like, well, first off, we're all on the West Coast, so there's no copying or anything.
It's usually the Bay Area be trying to say
exactly. Second off, like
influenced.
Everybody's influenced from something.
Yeah,
right.
That's
everybody
a fact.
is
right.
No one's original in this shit anymore. I promise you.
Yeah.
Or I mean, if they are, it's really hard to find.
Yeah.
But I'm not knocking anybody, but it's just the world we're in, sadly.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
it's not about like recycled sounds. It's more of just like, what else can we come up with, essentially?
Yeah, and collaboration. We were just talking about that before the show. Like, artists need to collaborate more. You know
that the shit I said earlier, just leaving your ego at the door. Like, a lot of people don't realize how heavy that is. Like, because people will get into a studio and think like, oh, I'm hot shit, and it just immediately just makes people not want to be around you.
Yeah.
It's just not cool.
Yeah.
We're all in here to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly,
so
bro.
real.
And even like touching on influences, it's like essentially those that's what samples are. You're like kind of giving a nod to like songs before you
100%.
and kind of like, yep, I'm influenced, I'm going to use this or whatever. So
I get tons of shit too, because bro, I don't like play any instruments.
Yeah.
I don't I don't play shit. I don't play music. I don't know any of that.
What do you mean you
So-
get tons of shit? They just tell you.
Because like I like 99.9% of my records are sample records.
Got you.
Like my process and me being like, I take samples and I'll be like, all right, that's cool, but this is how I would do it.
Yeah.
And it's just another extension of me essentially. But people like to look at it as like lazy or like I don't want to learn how to do all that. But bro, it's just that shit don't make me happy. Like when I go find a cold sample, I flip that shit how I would do it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I leave it on loop for 3 hours while I clean my house.
That's fire.
I promise you.
That's fire.
Nah, I feel you. That's what I'm saying. I think the perception of it needs to change from like, oh, he's copying to, oh, he's actually giving a nod to so and so. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Yeah.
Do you have I guess like some advice for the up and coming producers in terms of like what do you think may be holding certain producers back from like locking in or I guess even growing their careers that you may be seeing?
Taking the risk for sure, because that's the number one. Scared money don't make money. Got to take the risk. 2, stop listening to the people around you as much. Listen to them for sure, but I mean, on the way up here, like to where I am now, a lot of people told me I wouldn't have made it this far. If I would have listened to them, who knows where the fuck I'd be.
Yeah.
Just be ready, because it's gonna, bro, like, it doesn't seem like it happens fast, but like, if you're not prepared when shit starts to go down, you're gonna start losing money, or you're not gonna be prepared for dealing with artists. Like, just have all your ducks in a row for when it's gonna happen. So like, go get your LLC, go get your contracts written up for your beats, go get like everything you need from A to Z to be prepared for when that shit happens. It's gonna make it a lot easier when it does happen.
Right.
That's real.
Right.
That's real.
And just kind of piggybacking off of your question, if I was like a producer and I'm like, hey, Cotto, what should I go buy to start out? Like, what would you tell me?
Shit. Just a MacBook, bro. I mean, I use a Mac.
Trusty MacBook.
It's never done me wrong. Yeah. But I mean, when I first started making beats, I made beats on a $80 HP Pavilion laptop, bro. So you can really make beats on anything. Bro, I can make a beat on my phone right now if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So like,
damn.
it's really how bad you want it. Seriously, like, just do you really want to make the beat or not?
Yeah.
That's real.
Definitely.
That's real. What do you do to like balance things out, right? I always ask guys this question because I'm curious, like whether you call it self-care, but like how do you balance that out when you're not in the lab?
I mean, there's definitely days that you got to take to yourself. We're human. We're not robots. We can't function like that. You got to get outside. You got to touch some grass. And even on the other side of the spectrum, like, you got to go do stuff like that to be able to make things that make music that makes you feel that way. That makes sense.
Yeah.
A lot of the music that people do nowadays, it's like, we're killing, robbing, shooting, saying this from the inside of their mama's house.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So like, your music isn't gonna have any substance to it if you're not going. I'm not saying go out kill people, but I'm saying you gotta live it to
go
really
get inspired.
Just be honest.
Be honest. 100%.
Yeah. Definitely. I guess for the people who might have not heard any of your beats before, how would you describe like your style?
Just 808 heavy, tons of 808s, crazy samples. I feel like that's my bread and butter.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was making a beat. This is like, I was still an intern, and it was a driver for someone who was coming to pick up an artist, and he like walked in. He's like, "Why does it sound like that?" I was like, I like it. I'm not here to please everybody,
right?
But I make what I like, and people like it, I guess. So.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
No, that's real. That's real. Well, first of all, bro, as we're kind of like winding down here, but I'm just like, I don't know, man. I think it's great. It's great that we were able to have you here, because I feel like, man, the music industry in general is like highly sought after. It's like people want to be in the music industry. They want to be rappers. They want to be producers. But it's like, man, you got to really work for that.
That, and a lot of people don't really tell the secrets. Like, you don't. I mean, I'll sit here and tell, bro, I'll give you my beat template. Like, I will give you everything, but it's not gonna make you as good as me. It's about how bad you want it. Does that make sense?
Right.
People would much rather like get to it without learning how to get to it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where the disconnect is.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
No, that's real.
I also had a question just on technology in general, like AI. What's your take on AI and music?
I love AI.
You do?
It's gonna fuck the game up, but it's so fun.
It's helpful, right?
Bro, like, no, it's a cheat code. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I haven't even like went through the process of learning how to make AI samples because I feel like once I know how to do it, it's gonna fuck my whole game up. Like I'm gonna be I'm gonna be doing too much. So I have a dude who makes them for me, but bro, like if you think about it, it's a literal cheat code. It's a sample. You don't have to get placed. You don't have to send residuals to anybody.
Yeah.
You don't get like a literal cheat code, bro.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, labels aren't gonna like that because one, they can't go out and be like, yeah, we own this sample, and two, none of the millions and millions of catalogs that they bought are gonna mean anything anymore because everything's just gonna get sampled off of AI.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I definitely feel like the labels are gonna come after it for sure. But it's a tool that definitely can help for sure.
Right.
I love it. I mean,
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna hold you.
Hey.
I think if anything, it should. It's not guaranteeing you anything, but it just gives you more flexibility and just kind of gives you more imagination
And freedom too, bro. Because like,
yeah.
I mean, you heard about what happened to Juice WRLD. He didn't clear that Sting record. Now Sting gets 90% of the residuals of that song.
Oh, Sting got a couple records
Wow.
like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like if you just knock that out before you even like work, then you don't have to worry about it later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's real.
Just
That's real.
my bad. Kind of touching on that. Like, how do you go about like protecting your work?
There's different like algorithms that like you can input your beats into, and it'll go search YouTube and see everybody who's rapped on your beat.
Oh, got you.
There's different systems out there that are like just built for going and searching for samples, and like, I mean, I never really have to worry about getting my work stolen because I'm probably stealing it already, and then I have to get it cleared after.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's just one of those things where everybody's kind of experiencing the same thing.
Exactly.
At the
And
same
it's like,
time. It's not like an isolated type of
Right.
thing, you know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like we're all figuring it out. At least until it gets regulated. If it
yeah,
ever
no one
does.
really knows the rules yet, so just
Yeah.
take it to the max, essentially.
Yeah.
No, that's real. That's
I
real.
feel it, man.
But yeah, Cotto, man, just want to salute you first of all, bro, for being one of the. And you know, I know you're behind the scenes and you know you're producing, but it's important for you to not just tell your story, but let people into like how you built what you have. Because I think there's a lot of, like we said, there's a lot of talent out here, and part of what's holding us back potentially is just a familiarity. People need to know like who these folks are and like connect.
Processes.
Yeah, because we're building the next generation. You know what I mean? So, you're definitely one of the folks that's kind of carrying that torch for sure.
No, definitely. I
Yeah.
don't even want to give too much info too, but like me and Bass Kids finna do like a producer camp to where we teach
Oh,
a
there
bunch
you go.
of kids
There you
how
go.
to make beats and like
There you go.
yeah. So definitely looking out for the younger
That's
generation.
fire.
I'm gonna do the same thing in my city back in Yakima too. Just like giving kids tools that could really shape where they want to go with their life. Like just give them the opportunity, because like everybody asks kids like what you want to be when you grow up, and it's always like, I'm gonna go to the moon. But like,
Yeah.
if you give them something that's actually possible right in front of their face when they're young, you're gonna build a star. You're gonna build someone who really wants
That's
that
real.
shit.
Just give them some practical, hands-on experience.
Alicia Keys' kid. She had a kid with Swizz Beats. He has a Kendrick placement.
Yeah,
at
on the
6 years
Untitled
old.
Untitled
Stop
album,
it, bro. Come on,
That's crazy.
Yeah, I forgot I forgot what, because they're Untitled. I forgot what song it was, but yeah, his
I
name.
think his name's Egypt.
Egypt. Yeah. Kendrick shouted him out.
Bro,
Egypt
but
on
just
the beat.
imagine having the resources of both of those parents.
Yeah, that's
It beats
wild.
hard too.
The beat's hard as hell.
Like 5 years old.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy,
Crazy.
man.
Now I'm gonna play that shit later.
Yeah.
Exactly, bro. That's just hard as hell.
Yeah.
But that's just an example of what the younger generation can
Yeah.
do when given tools.
Tools and being exposed. Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure,
Mhm.
man. But
Yeah,
yeah, man. First of all, like I said, man, we just want to salute you for being here. And give you your flowers. Obviously, I've been meaning to do this. We've been meaning to tap in with you for a minute.
Yeah, definitely,
so
bro. Because
glad we can do this.
I love your work, bro. It's fire. All your beats, everything. I'm like, man, Cotto's filthy. You know what I'm saying?
You trying to get a free beat right now?
I don't even rap. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying?
Rap now?
I just love. I DJ.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna drop off a pack for you so you can have some shit to do next time someone freestyles.
Oh, yo, come on, man.
I got you.
Come on, bro.
Oh yeah.
Say less. But nah,
Doing
bro.
the live right now.
He said,
I'm doing the live right now. That's crazy.
He said for someone else. Nah. They gonna be for
So
me.
that's crazy how no one else is getting these beats.
He's like, I ain't heard him
He
yet.
can't
What's
even
up?
think right now. He's so happy. But
You got something to say?
oh yeah, I was just gonna say, where can they find you?
Yeah.
Social media, online,
Beats
anywhere.
by Cotto, literally everywhere.
Tap in.
Beats by Cotto.
Tap in. So I'll leave you with this. We ask every guest this question before we wrap up. So if you can, brother, what's one word to describe what keeps you on the up and up and why?
Money.
Hey.
I'm trying to make it so my kids don't ever have to work. Simple as that. Like my mom showed me how to bust your ass to get what you want. So I'm trying to take it to 10. I'm trying to take that to the next level.
That's real.
And like, I'm not even trying to say like money is the root of everything or like any of that, but that shit gonna make shit a lot easier.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Yeah. Definitely does.
So like, once I get the peace and the ease of just knowing that my future generation ain't gonna have to worry about the stuff that my parents or me had to go through, like that's what I do it for, bro.
That's real.
What I'm here for.
That's
That's
what's
real,
up, bro.
man. That's real. Man,
Sure.
But thank you guys for having me. This was
yeah,
sick.
bro.
Oh, of course,
yeah,
bro.
nah,
Of course.
anytime, bro. We're gonna run it back. We'll probably have to come to the studio, do some,
Bro, please.
studio
yeah.
stuff.
Please.
We gotta pull up.
Yeah. You gonna wrap this time? But outside of that, man, again, we salute you. Wish you much success moving forward with everything you got going on, and you know you got support with us here at the Up and Up, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Always, bro.
With that being said, I think it's safe to say, Cotto, Beats by Cotto, is officially a member of the Up and Up.
Yeah. To continue supporting the podcast and the entire Up and Up movement, be sure to rate, review, like, and subscribe.
As well as follow us at _ the Up and Up on all social media platforms to stay connected with everything the Up and Up has coming your way.
Thanks for listening, and until the next one.
Keep it on the Up and Up.